Hello and welcome back to the next episode. I hope you are refreshed. We're going to be looking at register, that is to register a user. Now, normally Laravel gives you out of the box, but we want to do it by ourselves. That's the whole point of this video, right? So, looking at what we would require to register a user, we want to make sure that we first of all have our model. So when we go to app models, we'll see user. Now, good, you can see we have password, email verified. So we already have our model. If you didn't, you have to now create your model. You take PHP Addison make model and then you put your model name. But we already have that, so we're not going to be doing that. So we need a page where we need to wire up the registration form. And the last video I showed you, the previous videos I showed you app layout, and then I also showed you our auth page where we ought to do this. But I want to do something else, I want to use a single component to do that instead. So it will appear here. I'm gonna say PHP artisan livewire make, and then I'm gonna say register. So it's going to create a registration page for me, which is this. So I can, before doing that, I should probably put it in the routes and say register. That's fine. I need to put it in quotes. Okay, so theoretically this should work because when we go to the register route, I didn't spell that well. Register route, it should now fire this class. I don't need this one. Okay, let's test that out. We already have the register. I'm gonna all comment this one so we can look at it. If I go now to the register routes, yep, you see it's showing me this. But we can still see parent is here. Why is parent showing here? Are we using, okay, so I think by default it is calling the app. It's calling app. It's calling it. It's calling the app layout. All right, so let's get to work on our register route. Firstly, we want to say, probably we'll be working backwards, and then we'll say public function. Should we say register? Let's say public function register. So we're using the user model like I showed you earlier, and then we'll be creating some. So this is where we'll now come and create the property. So public dollar email. Let's use email, not name. So public dollar email. I'm gonna set it on empty strings. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna set it on empty property. I'll do the same for password as well. I don't need this right now. Then I could come here and say password. Yep. Then all I have to do is just pass in this password here since I already mentioned it. I pass in the password and I'm good. So we're kind of working backwards to the front. So here I'll just create the inputs and say input. Okay. It's doing that for me already. All right, good stuff. And then I have another button. Now, I could say wire click register, but the thing with that is sometimes when the way people use forms, when after filling in your details, you just come and hit enter, right? After filling your details, you come and hit enter. And sometimes that's not what is expected. They actually want, so the browser is actually listening for a click event. Here, you fill in your details and you naturally just press enter. but the browser is not listening for an enter, it's listening for a click event from this register. So it wouldn't work. So usually best practice, what I would recommend for you to do is actually use a form. Use a submit button and say submit, and I'll wrap all of this in a form. And yeah, I can now link it and say wire submit. In previous versions, you probably have to do prevent. When you are typing and you submit you click on submit, it will actually reload the page, or sometimes wipe out some of your fields, and you don't want that. So to prevent the default behavior of the browser for submitting forms, we usually add prevent, right? But since this is version 4, we don't need to add prevent, it just comes right out of the box. So we can do this. I went ahead and created, linked my database. I'm actually using SQLite here currently, and this is the database I have. I'm using Admina Evo for this video. So if you come to my users, you'll see that there are no users currently. Okay, so we're gonna try and submit, and our password will be password, and hit register. Oh, user not found. Sorry, I think I haven't imported the class. Yes, and I saw that. Model, yeah, user, good stuff. Right, so now I've imported the class. This should theoretically work. I'll run that again and say test at example.com, password register. Okay, so nothing works basically, but let's see. Okay, gives me an error. State integrity constraints, not null constraint fields. So if we look at the database, you can see that there's a column for name, but we're not passing name, we're only passing the email and password, and the name is required. So just to be fair, as per the requirements already set by Laravel, we're going to include a name to it. But you can obviously just remove it from your data table if you want to, but we'll just add a name to it. And yeah, we'll add it here as well. Let me just add it at the top and say public dollar, so dollar name. Yeah, so it's an existing, and this should be fine. I'll add it here as well and say name this name. Okay, so we're not worried about validation currently. Like I said, maybe the next video we'll look at the validation, but we just want to make sure that you can register a user. So what I usually recommend for myself is a personal preference. I like to, anytime I'm using livewire, I like to put the wire stuff at the beginning of the inputs, at the beginning of the input field especially, so that when I want to debug, it becomes easier for me to debug. So I can let it see the wire stuff at the beginning, and then if I need to debug something, I know how to go about it easily. Right, so let's do that again. Okay, so name will say John Doe. We're gonna say John Doe. Email will say tests at example.com. Password will say password, and I'll hit the register button. Okay, so nothing happens because we didn't actually say it should do anything after it submits. But let's see if it persists into the data table now. All right, sure enough, you can see the data here in our database. Right, so we have registered a user. So normally, maybe you might want to now redirect to another page, or whatever you might want to do. At this point, you maybe say this. So Yeah, you can reset the form. We'll say this reset. You can also say this redirect, you know. You can do redirect or you can do a return, sorry. You can do redirect or redirect. You can do a dispatch at this point. So it depends on what you want to do after they have submitted the form. But that will be it for this video. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.